You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today, we're exploring the impact of being a rural area dealer on customer buying behavior and also ongoing challenges of finding and retaining top talent. Joining us once again is fourth generation dealer principal of McClinton Auto Group, Miss Ginny Bowden. Thank you so much, Ginny, for joining us once again on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be back.
Sure. So let's catch up since you were on last. Can you share with us how sales and service have been trending?
Sure. It's been a little bit of an interesting year in particular for us. We've made some pretty significant changes at our dealership as far as personnel and processes. So it's hard to say, what it would have done without that. But so we've had to overcome some challenges there, but we are now on our way to seeing those improvements actually coming to fruition. So,
if you don't mind me asking, what changes did you make?
Sure. So, being a 109-year-old dealership, it comes with a lot of this is how we've always done things, and resistance to change. So, we've been slowly trying to make tweaks and changes in the 7 years that I've been here. But this year we really kind of ripped off the Band-Aid and said, okay, we're going to go for it. So, we've some of our people retired. Some people moved on because they were unsure of some of the changes we were making.
Yeah, that happens.
So we have a lot of new team members. Some who bring a lot of experience and strength with them, and some who are very green. So, that's making us really kind of start to build our team within, and it gives us an opportunity to to jump off and do things a little differently, I guess.
Sure. Why did you see a need to make the changes?
We want to grow, and we felt like we had hit a wall, and we were kind of stagnant, and many of our team members didn't think that we could grow, and we feel like we're a little bit of a sleeping giant. We feel like there's a bigger piece of the pie that we can take. So we just decided to go for it.
And it really is, at the end of the day, a mindset of that staff within the dealership as to whether or not you're going to be moving ahead or sitting where you are, right? I mean, it's so
100%.
It really is just a mindset to say, we can do this. We can, whether we're wanting to, we're at 200 cars, we want to get to 300. And there are those individuals that have a real problem with change and having somebody come in and say, no, we can hit the higher number, right?
Absolutely. And, I don't fault anyone for that resistance or, fear of change. We all have it. And I think, and obviously it starts with me and at the top, as far as what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And let's do it, with a smile on our face and really try to go get what we think we can do and deserve. So
Sure. You're in a rural area. Have you noticed any changes in customer buying behavior? Do people primarily want to come into the stores, or are they doing more business online? What does that look like?
We're seeing a little bit of everything, but primarily a lot of our customers definitely start the buying process online. But I would say 99% of them still want to come in and complete the purchase in the dealership. They want to shake hands. They want to really, touch and see the vehicle, test drive it, get the full delivery experience. So we're seeing definitely a hybrid, but overall, I would say it's people still want to come in and work with us in person, which I personally love. So
yeah, for sure. And then what about your teams? Not only are dealers today challenged with finding top talent, it's also a question of retaining that top talent once they're in, right? And
yes.
Talk to us about that.
So one of the things that we are wanting to do and starting to do now that we've made these changes and have a lot of new team members is we want to invest in our future, and which means investing in our people. And so we've done the NCM, GSM, and GM training,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to offer the NCM training to all of our managers throughout the year. So we're going to do just a subscription with them. And then, we would like for the managers then to come back into the store and, start to train and grow within. And that way everyone's kind of receiving the same training program, and, there's consistency there.
Yeah.
So
That's great. That's great. And it's all too often dealers will train, their team maybe once and then go, okay, you're out there, go ahead and do your thing. And then the training seems to fall by the wayside, and
yes.
no more training is involved, right?
Oh, I don't know if it just comes with the territory of the industry, but
Right.
you're exactly right. We also have asked our managers, especially in our sales department, to each morning a different manager, whether it be F&I or our BDC manager or sales manager, they are given the opportunity to do a 20-minute training meeting with the sales team, and it's based on different topics like delivery process, or how to speak to a customer on the phone, and how to book an appointment and get them in. So just really kind of pushing the narrative of, there's always something to learn, and capitalizing on everybody's strengths.
That's right. And the toughest people to get into training are the ones that think they know it all, and they're selling maybe north of 15 cars a month. And and in some dealerships, it's almost like a reward, unfortunately, to say, well, if you're selling 15 cars a month, you don't need to be in training. But as we know, sometimes those people are leaving another 15 cars a month on the table because they're just, hitting all of the shortcuts, right?
Yes. Yeah. In the dealership world, we live in the gray a little bit, right? So the all-star guy who's, 20 cars a month, it's like we leave him alone, as if he's not, gonna, have need for any more improvement. And that's totally false. There's always something that we can learn every day. I certainly do. So
it's important that the other team members that are trying to get out 8 to 10 cars a month see that pro that's getting out, let's say, north of 15 or 20 cars a month in the training as well, right?
Yes. Yes. That way they don't feel like somebody is, above or beyond what they're participating in. And it just builds that, there's no I in team. And like I said, I don't care how good you are, there's always something to learn.
That's right. So. That's right. No question. Let me switch gears a little bit with you and talk about EVs. What's changed since the last time we spoke? It could be that the industry has changed and the consumer's desire for an EV has changed, but talk to us about that. What do you see in your store?
As you started out our conversation, we are in a rural area, and we are in West Virginia. So it's very mountainous, and we don't really have a lot of the infrastructure quite yet, just like the rest of the country. But I would say more so here. We're definitely not on the forefront of the EV push. And so we really have not seen an increase. It's just kind of been stable for us. And I expect that to kind of remain until people really start to get more comfortable with it. Obviously, we're all seeing in the news that a lot of the OEMs are pulling back on, what they originally said they're going to do as far as how many EVs they're going to push. And now everyone's kind of looking more towards the hybrids. That probably is definitely more appealing for most consumers, and especially consumers in our area. Let's baby step this instead of, you got to walk before you can run. So, Mitsubishi, we have the PHEV, and, that's something that I look forward to really educating customers about. We do have also Chevrolet EV Blazers, and we just got the new EV Equinox. So, it's definitely, it's here, and we're learning and trying to educate ourselves as well as the consumers. But I don't expect a huge rush, unfortunately for us. But other parts of the country,
yeah, for sure. And I think everyone agrees now that the OEMs out there just jumped too quickly on this EV situation, and consumers are just not there at the level that they thought they would be, right?
Oh, and there's a ton of unintended consequences. I mean, just I was reading an article about how they're going to have to change the infrastructure of guardrails
Yeah.
because the weight of EVs, and they just completely take out the guardrails. So, I mean, that's a huge expense to
Wow.
redo
Yeah.
all of on our highways. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Also, I read an article, maybe in the same article, that talked about the parking garages that are aging, and you've got all of a sudden all these EVs with these very heavy,
wait,
the weight of these EVs, and it's like, oh, that's a different situation, right? Than what they figured on, back in the 70s when the parking garage was built. So, yeah,
right,
you're right.
exactly.
There are a lot of things that have to be addressed. And let me ask you this: you're probably very uniquely qualified to answer this question. But what does the industry need to do, from your perspective, to attract more females like yourself to get into the industry and end up running a dealership like you're doing today?
I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. Obviously, being fourth generation,
Sure.
I fell into it. It was probably not something that I otherwise would have done. I mean, I don't think so, but I'm not. Who knows? But I think it's such a interesting industry. There's so many opportunities, so many different jobs. And I think it's just educating people and getting
Hmm.
the word out there. One thing that we would like to do in our area, especially, is get into the high schools and start, letting them know
Yeah.
there are opportunities. Obviously, I'm thinking more in particular the technicians,
Hmm.
service technicians, because that's a dying breed.
Sure.
And we need to really be getting ahead of that. So, just letting people know that there is an opportunity for a wonderful job and lifestyle that
Yeah.
working in a dealership. I am joining a women in automotive course that Liza Borges
Yeah.
from CMA is hosting, along with somebody that she's done some training with as well. And so I've start that next week, and I'm really excited. She's she's starting a movement, it seems,
Yeah.
to get women involved. So I'm excited to be a part of that.
Yeah,
So
she's an incredible individual and runs an incredible group. And I think she too is a third or fourth generation dealer principal,
yeah,
right?
fourth, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So boy, your car companies go way, way back. You don't have any original people that work for you from 109 years ago, do you?
That you know what that
We got rid of them in the last sweep, right?
Yeah,
But
right. That was how we rolled out the beginning of the year.
that's right. That's
Ugh.
right. That's too funny. Ginny Bowden, dealer principal of McClinton Auto Group. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today to give us an update as to how things are moving along. I really appreciate it. I know you're a very busy young lady, so thanks for taking the time with us.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.